What do you do? You work for an NGO? Nice. NGO, that's like a record label for activists. Yeah.
You gotta be a guy, Simba, you know? Do you imagine if a lion took that advice, like every time they want to catch a zebra, they're like, is this gluten-free? I can't. Online dating, I like online dating. Actually, I met my girlfriend on a dating app. We met on LinkedIn, and that's my favorite one. That's my favorite dating app, because that way you know they have a job already. You know what I mean? There you go.
Rolling. Hey, my name is David Macharia, stand-up comedian. No free jokes, so no jokes here. All right, cool. So so we're here at Fit Kitchen on Lavington. We have an open mic every Friday. Make sure you pull up, 7 to 9. And we have a few open mic comedians around us. We have one hard work over here, very funny guy, Nanjero Jack.
What are you saying?
This is Steve right here, Steve Charlo, another open micer, comedian.
No.
I don't want to say comedian. Open mic. He shows up to open mic. Okay, no, I'm joking. Yes, there's another comedian. Shout out Steve.
So what are you doing?
He's just we're giving him a small tour, mini tour.
Mini tour.
If you wanna come along, let's go. Yeah, so this is the rest of the space. This is the main showroom. Bunch of folks. Still early. It'll fill up pretty soon. More comedians. David is on David time. Gigi.
What's up?
Comedian. Open micer. Bulleting.
No, I don't think I'm bulleting, but my name is, as he said, my name is Gigi. I come from Côte d'Ivoire, and I have done comedy for 3 years. Hopefully, I come and do a good job in Nairobi. Thank you.
Do you think David is funny?
David Macharia.
Yeah, honestly, do you think it's funny? Who is this David?
Next question.
Next question. All right, cool.
You're gonna tell us why you're wearing that bandana and beanie.
I got the bandana beanie combo going because I need a haircut, number one, and I'm so cold. Before I put both of these on, I was like, my nose was running. My nose is still running a little bit, but this helped. Hi, I'm David Macharia, your girlfriend's favorite comedian. I'm sorry. I felt so silly saying that. Okay, let's do it again. I forgot. I was like, what? I was like, what did I just say? Then I forgot what I was supposed to say after. Woo! Okay, let's go. Hi, I am David Macharia, Nairobi-based stand-up comedian. I am 24 years old. I have been doing comedy in Nairobi since November 2018. So I grew up in different countries. As a kid, I never lived anywhere for like more than 5 years at a time. My dad's job had us moving around a lot from country to country, school to school. So I got like accustomed to, a nomadic lifestyle from quite a young age. And as this was happening, like all the different places that we'd end up living in, all the people we'd end up meeting, met like a lot of different people from different backgrounds, countries, cultures. I guess it helped me become like a more adaptable person, a person who's more like willing to hear something out or adapt to perspectives that are not like my natural perspective or my natural background. And I think that shows up in my comedy because, I'm able to like maybe think about things in a different, I guess in a way that's not like, I don't want to call myself different, but I'm also a little bit different. Just from like even how I speak, in a field where the job is talking. The way I speak already like sets me apart from most other people that I work with. Comedy is one of those jobs where, it's not like you're gonna be in the same office day after day. There's gonna be a lot of travel, you know, like the longer you do it for, the better you get. You're gonna, I guess, have more opportunities to do it in environments that aren't your, I guess, home environment. Whether it's like a club in one part of town, for example, like if you're doing a show in Westlands, it's gonna be a completely different vibe, completely different audience than like if you're doing a show in town. So something like just being able to adapt quickly and I guess taking in the space you're in, knowing how to work in different environments, you know, just kind of like, I guess, yeah, like maybe I didn't need to be plucked from schools every 2.5 years to learn that skill, but I think it does help just like understanding that there are different types of people and different ways that you will need to engage or connect with different types of people.
This is Titus,
Yes.
comedian, open mic, stand-up collective, Titus Mutai. Do you think David Macharia is funny?
That guy tries, but
He tries.
yeah.
You know, pointers, you know.
David Macharia, maybe he needs to pull up his socks.
He's
Like
still-
this, and I mean he needs to pull up his socks. But,
Like literally, I see his ankles all the time.
and he also needs to stop being gay.
All right, we've got enough. Thank you, Titus. Thank you, Titus.
I decided to do comedy, I think maybe a week after like a few weeks after I was on stage for the first time. Because when I first started doing comedy, I thought it was just going to be like a hobby or something that I was just going to be doing at night after I was done with whatever my day was going to be, if I was in school or if I was, you know, working another job. But I did comedy, I think the first time I did it was, you know, kind of bad. The second time I did it was a little bit better. And then I think one of the next few times I did it, the guy who was running the show just gave me 1,000 shillings. And I wasn't on that show, so I was just like, oh, nice, I'm getting like gas money. And then I think that's when something clicked in my head. I was just like, I had such a fun time on stage. I got to hang out with some people, and then I just got 1,000 shillings that I was not expecting. I didn't even know people were getting paid for this. And then so soon, I think when I got that first 1,000 shillings, I was like, wait a minute. Like something clicked and I was just like, why am I in school? I was like, why am I trying to learn how to do other jobs and I can spend time learning this? And I got 1,000 shillings for doing something that I didn't know how to do yet. Because it takes a while to like, you know, get good at comedy, to even like learn what you're doing on stage. So it kind of felt like I guess like a path opened up in front of me, and I was just like, this is a valid career option. So yeah, that's why I decided to do comedy.
Stan the man.
Yeah.
Nyaje.
Poor sana.
This is Stan Saleh.
Stan K. Saleh.
Oh, I forgot how to use microphones. This is Stan Saleh.
Hey, what's up, man? Nyaji?
I have a question for you.
Yes?
Do you think David Macharia is funny? All right, enough said.
Definitely. David is quite funny. His humor is intelligent humor. It's really good at times.
All right. So over here we like to lie to people sometimes.
We actually, I think we started at the same time with David Macharia, and he has been tremendously good in the scene. He did the first couple of headliner shows before I've even did it. So he has been inspiration, because you know, someone you started with, now he's doing bigger things. So right now he's really good. It's great. Hope you won't see this interview, right? You can't know I said all this stuff.
So being I guess part of the people that are like starting something, there's gonna be like, I guess, pros and cons. Like, you know, the pros is that there's not much competition. I was able to like just start comedy and like pretty soon after be, you know, like a guy that's like, oh, that guy's a comedian, versus like if you were doing comedy in a place where there's 300 people who are trying to sign up for one open mic. There's like in like comedy cities, it's much harder to like get up in like clubs and stand out when there's so many other people trying to do the same thing you are. So I guess from that angle, it's like it's a pro that there's like smaller or like littler fewer competition, less competition. Why can't I say word? There's less competition, that's a pro. But then also that's not necessarily like a good thing, because like, you know, if there's more competition, the better you can get, because you're competing against other people who are worthy of competing against, and that will help you become a better comedian. And it's challenging that there isn't an established comedy industry way or method to become a comedian. We don't have comedy clubs. There's shows are like at restaurants, bars, cafes, sometimes theaters, but there is no place you can go to and be like, oh, I'm at the comedy club. So that's like a huge thing. Just like having a comedy club would be amazing. Yeah, the challenge is like, you know, Kenya isn't like the best place. I don't know where is the best place to be a creative. I feel like creative's just like worldwide, unless you're going to like a school for creative. If you're somewhere like you can get into Juilliard or something. Just being a creative, it's a hard career path to go down. It's not necessarily like the most respected thing you could do. So in terms of just like even like money, in terms of people being like, oh, you don't have a real job. Yeah, that could be challenging. Yeah.
And we have another one of us. This is Sami Derek.
Hi, Brian Mutai. How you doing?
I'm good. I just have one question for you. Do you think David Macharia is funny?
Crass in a funny way, yeah. He's funny like a whiskey. It's like, good but strong.
That's my favorite description. I'll take it. So we've got some audience folks showing up. Given this is how they enter, and yeah.
David's a good guy. Very brutally honest, in a way that I like it. You need friends like David Macharia. David the accent Macharia, as I call him.
David Netflix Macharia, let's go. I had one more question for you. Smile for the camera. Do you think David Macharia is funny?
Yes, I think he is funny. I like his type of humor. He can be very dark and vile, and I like such.
Another question. Why are you lying?
Yeah, I just wanted it to look good for the camera, you know, bro. It's yeah, I wanted it to look good, but
you got it here first. All right, cool.
How do I get my comedy out? So yeah, I do, like, I'll be at as many open mics or as many shows that I can be at. Ideally, like, you know, this is like a job, and people like get surprised when they say, oh, like, how often do you do stand-up? And I'm like, oh, I'll do like 2 sets a night sometimes. I'll do like, you know, whatever, any night that I can be on stage, I'll be on stage. You know, like, unless like I'm sick or blah, blah, blah. So I try and perform as much as possible. So during the week, it's mostly open mics. There'll be like real shows during the week sometimes. But it's during the week, Monday to Friday, it's just like working out material, just fleshing out ideas, hanging out at bars with comics and this and that. And then we'll have like real shows Saturdays. And when I say real shows, I mean like people are buying tickets. The material that is being performed is stuff that we know is quality material because it's been like worked on for a bit. And that's mainly like what I'm trying to do. Like, being a comedian, I feel like for me, it's just about performing comedy. And when it comes to like sharing media, you know, like sharing like clips online, I'll share clips on my Instagram or my Twitter. That's like extra stuff to me. I see it as like that's not me doing comedy. That's just like me being like, I guess, like marketing myself, which is like the business part. Even when it comes to like I've done like 2 shows on Showmax, Roast House and Comedy Riot. That's like, I feel like, again, those are extra things. It's like, yes, I performed comedy, but now this is about like expanding and getting your name out there so that you can sell more tickets for people to actually come see you do the job. Hey, I just got to Fit Kitchen for the Joke Machine open mic. Right now, I'm just going over like notes and ideas that I came up with during the week, transferring the bits that I want to work out on stage from my laptop onto my joke book so that I can like take a quick glance if I need to when I'm on stage. Right now, like I feel pretty chill. I feel pretty calm. This is like become like I guess like a regular space, so like I'm kind of like used to the vibe here. I guess you can see later, but it's not like a huge room, so it's like, you know, kind of like a low stakes kind of performance. It's an open mic. No one's bought tickets, so like, you know, no matter how it goes, you get what you paid for. Actually, you know what? I don't even I don't even feel pressure like, oh, it's gonna go bad, it's gonna go good. If it goes bad, that's what I'm here for. I think for me, like there was 2021, I did a corporate gig with Google, and it was like an end of year party thing for employees and influencers.
I am also a fan of Google Chrome. Google Chrome is my favorite search engine. You know, I feel like Google Chrome is to internet users what light-skinned women are to rappers. You know, it's the one you leave for. You know what I mean? Because everybody gets a machine, and the first thing it comes with, it's either like Internet Explorer or Safari, and the first and only thing you use it for is to install Google Chrome. You know? Yeah.
I think it's really cool to get to say that like I've worked with Google. It's cool to like have something like that on my CV. It's cool to, it's cool to say like, oh yeah, you can watch me on Showmax. It's cool to be like, yeah, I was on a show on Citizen TV. I did this and this. But I think like the main Google thing is like, especially someone who's like really struggled in school and not being like a good student, to be like, okay, I'm putting energy into something that I like doing, and I get to say cool things like I've worked with Google. I get to I remember like the day that I had the meeting with some of the people from Google, like the PR people. I was like, oh no, I gotta go to a meeting with Google, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I tell jokes. There's people who are like, they're like, oh, I have to learn how to code. Like I'm not like, these are important things, but like someone who's like, you know, like when you're like coming up as like when you're a young person, you're like made to feel like school is the most important thing in the world. If you're not good at school, you can't do anything. There's people who are like sleepless nights, learning this degree. Oh man, I gotta get an A, otherwise I'm not gonna get to work with cool people. And it makes me very happy that I was able to just be like, yeah, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do, and cool stuff can happen because of it. Like, I don't, like, yeah, I guess it's like, it was very like, it's one of those things I was like, okay, maybe I'm on the right track. I get to put Google on my CV, and I know people who are like IT people who would love to say that they've worked with Google. So to me, that was a big moment. Oh, and roasting Nameless.
People who still spend money on Nameless's music, or people who still call music boom twaf.
My roast for Nameless didn't make it onto the episode because I was going through quite a bit when we were recording the Nameless episode. So I wasn't like my energy wasn't like focused on like writing jokes. I was going through a breakup, and when you're doing a roast, you got to do research on the people that you're roasting. And whenever I was trying to research Nameless, all the content that would come up was just like, yeah, man. So I'm in this happy relationship with my wife. I love my wife. My wife is amazing. My wife has always been there for me, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear this. Actually, like but just like getting to like at the end of the roast, you know, I got to roast him. Like, I'm not saying like I bombed when we recorded the roast, but like I was in the editing room for that, and I was just like, I'm not happy with this. This is someone like I really have been a huge fan of. Nameless was my first ever favorite musician. I was just like, I'm not happy with this. This isn't the best I could have done. So like, I don't want it to be on the thing, but just like I was saying earlier, like comedy is about like the live performance. And I have that memory of, even before the roast, I have a memory of Nameless being in the audience at a show I was at, and looking at him and seeing him laugh, and I'm like, oh my God. I used to dance to this guy's music when I was 5 years old. I used to sing this guy's song when I was 5 years old, and now he's laughing at my jokes. Now I'm getting paid to make fun of this guy. So yeah, meeting Nameless, performing, roasting Nameless, and working with Google. Those are two things that I'm really proud of.
Hello, my name is Amandeep, and I am a stand-up comedian in Kenya. That's all. Those are my accolades. It's like a spectrum. Not all the time, but when he's funny, he's also kind of funny. So that, yeah. So he's he's funny, but not all the time. I don't know. I hope I am. That's all I can say. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I hope I'm better than David. I'm funnier. Although I know he looks better. I'll give him that. I'm man enough to admit he's a handsome boy. But for how long?
When I introduce the next guy, this next guy is a Christian. He's going to restore for all of the Christians in the room. Give it up for the one and only professional Christian, David Macharia.
Praise God, baby. Give it up for David Macharia. You guys not feeling the dog with us? What did you do to these people? Did you chase the whole front row away, or did they find out you were hosting and then just not come? That's why I was late.
Bombing, actually, to me, and I think just generally, it's what makes things fun. Because like if you knew everything you were gonna do was gonna go 100% well, if everything was just gonna work out 100% of the time, there would be like no need to do anything, because you'd be like, no, I know how it's gonna go. But nobody you don't watch interesting things because things are gonna be safe. When you go watch like at a circus, you go watch those guys who tame lions. It's fun because they're taming a lion, because the audience knows this guy could die, but it's cool that he's not dying. And that's what's impressive. Nobody wants to go watch someone like tame a kitten or like play with a kitten, because it's like, what are the stakes? So like that, like accepting that the possibility that things are gonna go bad is what makes things fun, and like being able to like watch someone who you can trust to keep it good. I think that's what makes things fun. And like I've been able to like see even off stage that the same principle applies, whether it's in relationships, you know, whether it's in other professions. It makes like the idea and the concept of trust such a deep thing, you know, like when you're watching a comedian that you trust is gonna get you through a show, like you've trusted with your 1,500 shillings to entertain you. That's a beautiful thing. Like when you're in a relationship and you're giving someone or you're showing someone a side of yourself and you're trusting them with it, that's a beautiful thing. And there is the possibility that things can go bad, but it's trust and it's, I guess, faith. So it just makes things like more cool, I think. My advice to anyone trying to do anything, whether it's like follow your passion or trying to, like this, I think this applies just like everywhere, just like honesty and like being honest with yourself. I think is how you get the best results for anything. Like the best comedy is not necessarily true, but it's honest. And the best, if you're gonna be in any situation, even like with a job, in a relationship, whatever, even like when you're like clothes you wear, like you gotta be honest with yourself for the best results. So like I think for me, like how, like I guess like to illustrate that point is like I was saying how bad I felt about being like a bad student. And that's not like, if I'm being honest with myself, like I've always known that like I was not gonna be like a school guy, you know. The times where I think I was maybe like facing like, or like dealing with like the most like doubt or sadness about situations is when I was just like trying to do something that if I was really being honest with myself, I knew that like this is not what I was supposed to be doing. And that's the thing too with like following your passion. Like it's cool to have passions, but if you know, sometimes you gotta be honest. Like I'm passionate about guitar playing, but if I'm being honest with myself, I shouldn't be a professional guitarist. I could follow that passion as a hobby and stuff. So it's like it's cool to like have passions and have hobbies and have professions. But it's also good to like know which is supposed to be which.
It was the new stuff that I wanted to try out worked pretty well. It was a chill room. It was the last person. I don't know. I got here pretty late, so I don't know what the rest of the show looks like. I don't know if there were some more people and they left. I don't know.
No. This is the most.
I don't know if people were more energetic in the beginning and they got tired. But for me, I am happy I got to work on some new stuff.
Nice.
Hi, I'm David Macharia, your girlfriend's favorite comedian. Subscribe to Beneath the Surface or else.